Hello. Hi everyone. I hope you can hear me. I'm so excited to be here. I need to know you can hear me. So if you can hear me, just put a chat in the comment section and let me know that you can hear me. Just say something and I can be sure that you can hear me. It's going to be a very wonderful time today. I'm so excited. I really do hope you can hear me on YouTube. If you can hear me on YouTube, please just put a chat in the comment section and then I can know that you can hear me. Today is the 23rd of March, 2023, 2025. And today we are going to be discussing about a topic that is very essential to life, which is really going to be a transformational session. Our webinar called KingsDreamFar basically is here to, it's just a transformational journey to help us renew our mind and position ourselves for the future. Before I continue, I just want to be sure that you can hear me on YouTube. If you can hear me, please just give me a thumbs up or just drop a chat in the comment section and just let me know that you can hear me. I hope you all can hear me. All right. I hope everyone is fine. I wish I could see everyone joining. I'm also gonna be joining on. Oh, perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm really glad. I'm really happy that everybody is here today. It's gonna be an amazing session. I'm also just going to be going live on my Instagram page, so I'm gonna be sharing in between screens. I hope you don't mind, and we can keep going with that. All right, all right, perfect. I hope you all had a very good day. It's Sunday afternoon here. It's quite sunny, very good, very sunny, and I had a good time. And I'm just gonna jump straight into it, and I'm not gonna waste any time. So again, the purpose of this webinar is to uncover powerful secrets, right? That is hidden in the word FAR, like some people who know me know I've always been talking about, and it's really just about helping us to understand who we are, right, what we are called to do and how we are supposed to achieve that which we are called to do. All right, and very quickly, it's going to be in three segments. The first part is we are going to be talking about the who, right? The second part is we're going to be talking about the what, and then the third part we're going to be talking about the how. All right, so I want you to stay to the end. Just give me like 1 hour 30 minutes. We're going to wrap up the session, but stay to the end because the ending, you want to get the full dose, you don't want to get the half dose. All right, and if you are here, just please share this link with someone, with your friends, with family. Let them come and also benefit of this program. All right, so quickly, just before we step into, I would like to ask you a question, and I would like you to just drop in the comment section and tell me, right, who are you? Who are you? Let's start with that. When someone just come up to you and say, "Hey, Saint, hey V," who are you? Like, what do you tell them? Hi, Instagram. Um, I'm actually live on YouTube, but I decided to just share this on my Instagram page just for someone who might be benefit. So if you're joining, welcome. We are discussing the topic King Stream 5, which is basically to uncover who we are, what we are called to do, and how we are supposed to achieve that. Right. So the first question I would like to ask is, who are you? If anyone comes to you and says, "Hey, who are you?" Right. What are you gonna tell the person? I'll be reading the chat and I'll be reading some of the comments that anyone would say, right? But for me, if someone comes to me and say, "Hey, who am I?" Will I say I am Mr. A, I'm Mr. B, I am Mr. C, right? Or I'm gonna say, "Oh, I am a CEO, I am a director of a company," or I'm gonna say I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that. Who are you gonna say you are, right? So for me, if anyone asks me that question, the first thing I'm gonna say is I am a spirit being. I am a spirit being. I am a spirit being. We are already getting into the session straight up, and we are already going in. So if anybody comes to me and asks me that who am I, right now with my understanding of myself is that I am a spirit being. I write am a spirit being. And you see, a true spirituality comes from a place of awareness, right? Everything called purpose, right, starts from a place of awareness. All right. And first thing, very important thing is that we need to become aware of who we are. right? And that's why I felt it very, very strong in my spirit to really do this webinar, because I really want people to really come into the discovery of who they are. Because when I discovered who I am, everything changed for me, right? My life really changed for the best. All right. So the first thing first, right? The awareness, the understanding that we need to have, right, as anybody on here on earth, right, is to understand first and know first that we are a spirit being. We are a spirit being, just having a an human experience, right? A human experience, right? I know we have a body, right? But we are not really as such. The body is just 1/3 of who we really are, right? The body is just 1/3 of what makes us up as human beings, right? So we are a spirit being. We have a body, we have a spirit, and we have a soul, right? So the first question is, who are you? And the answer for me is, I am a spirit being, just having a human experience, right? And the spirit that I carry is a spirit that aligns with the Creator, right? The spirit that we have inside of us is the spirit that aligns with the Creator. So we need to understand that there is a Creator, there is a God, right? And this is not some religious kind of webinar. This is true spirituality, right? This is true understanding of who we really are. All right, and the first step is to understand that there is a God. Come on, guys, come to look at it. Did you really think that you just woke up one day and then you were made by the mixing of a man and a woman coming together and then produces a sperm and then it forms you, right? That is the biological interpretation. But beyond that is the fact that there is a life, there's a breath of life, right, that comes into you, and that's what even science has not been able to prove yet, right? How come you see that we have the breath of life that we breathe every day, right? That is to show that we all come from um, a being that is really, really greater than what you can see, than us, right? And that spirit being is the creator of the universe. That spirit being is the creator of the world, of everything, right? And then the moment you become aware that you are not just an ordinary person, the moment you become aware that you have a spirit inside of you that is living, a living spirit, then everything changes for you, right? Everything literally changes for you. All right. So if you are along with me, if you are going on with me, just drop a comment section and say, "Hey, I am a spirit being." Drop it in the chats below, and I'll be watching that I am a spirit being. All right. And you are asking that, where did I come up to that conclusion, right? I'm gonna be using some references in this webinar, right? And some of the references is gonna be coming from scriptures, from quotes. All right. So I want you to open your mind. I want you to release yourself and don't be so tightened up, right? This is not a religious webinar, right? It's just highly very spiritual. It's just highly to make you highly aware of yourself. All right. But for the scripture that I'm gonna be using, I'm gonna be using scriptures from the Bible. All right. So if anybody can probably just open and read with me to Psalm 93 verse 1 says that the Lord is king and is robed in his majesty. Right. He's talking about the one who made the world. He's talking about the majesty, the El Shaddai, the one who controls the world, right? Come on, think about it, right? Do you think that out of the over 1 billion, 2 billion people on earth, right? How come all of us are just together trying to do things or trying to, walk around, right? There's a spiritual being, there's a higher being, higher calling, right? Who have designed everything, and that's the spirit that we bear with us, right? That is the spirit that we bear with us. How do you know your father, your biological father? Right? If they ask you who you are, you say you are the son of a person, you are the son of Mr. This, you are the son of Mr. That, right? And you are so confident of that, right? But the moment you become so confident of who you are, understanding that you bear the spirit of your father, you bear the spirit of the one, the creator, things become easy. And who is that person, right? Who is the ruler? What name is given to the person who rules the world, right? We give that name, we call the person king, all right? And that's where we're going to be starting from today. That's where the definition of this webinar started from. KingsDreamFar. Stay with me, don't go anywhere. We are just getting started, and I'm getting into it right now. It's going to be exciting, right? A ruler is a king, right? And since we bear the spirit of that ruler that lives inside of us, then we also are kings, right? Come to think about it, right? What belongs to your father, your earthly father, does it not belong to you? Right? If your father is a king, you are next in line. And since we know that the spirit that bears witness in us, right, is the spirit of kingship. That's why we call him the Lord, right? The awareness. What I want everyone who comes to this webinar today to take away is that you are a king, because the spirit that aligns in that the spirit living inside of you, the spirit that you align with, right, is the spirit of a king. The character of whom you bear witness with is a king. All right, and that's where who that's where we'll start this webinar from, the webinar KingsDreamFar, right? And the first part, like I said, is to discover who we are, right? And I've mentioned that who we are, right, it's not by the name that we're bearing. I'm not Olaliko, I'm not Oluwayom. That's just a name given to me by my earthly parents. I can decide tomorrow by law that I want to change my name from Olaliko. I can decide to say I want to start, bearing the name Cristiano Ronaldo. I can say I want to start bearing the name Donald Trump. I can say I want to start bearing the name, Anna Montana, whatever it is. And I can go to the court of law, right? And I can tell them, henceforth today, by the law binding me, no one should refer me to Olaliko anymore. Start calling me this, start calling me that, right? And the moment I do that, it becomes a law. And whoever decide to address me by a different name other than that what I've said, I have the, I believe that I have the power to sue that person, right? So that is to tell you that we are not really identified by our names, right? You are not V, you are not Saint, you are not you are not Chidima, you are not Tiana, you are not whatever, right? But who we really are is the identity that we really have inside of us, right? The identity that really identifies us. So the first thing that I am is spirit being. You are a spirit being, and that's the first awareness of who you are, is that you are a spirit being. Anywhere you are, there's a spirit that lives inside of you, right? That takes you places, that helps you do stuff. So when you come to that awareness that you are a spirit being, right, the next question you might have is, then where did that spirit come from, right? How did I get that spirit, right? Where did I get that spirit from? And where you get that spirit from is from the Creator, right? It's from the one who made the heavens and the earth. It's from the one who formed all of these, he's from the one who rules the earth, right? And he has given you that spirit. He has allowed that spirit to bear witness in you. So, and then when you imagine that, okay, what kind of spirit does this being have, right? He's the ruler. Is the ruler of the whole universe, is the ruler of the earth, is the ruler of everything. That means that you bear that character, right? That means that you are a king, because he is the king, he's the king of all kings, right? And then you bear witness with him, all right? And that means that you are a king. So from today, when I say king, a lot of people think it's gender, or it's because you're a boy, you're a girl, or you're a guy. No, every one of us, right? We are a spirit being having a human experience, and the spirit inside of us bears witness with the spirit of our Father, right? And our Father is a king, hence we are a king. So the essence for that today is that anywhere you get to, anywhere you go to, in your place of work, in your community, anywhere you get to, you need to identify as a king. All right. And just to leave that, since that we know who we are right now, I'm gonna be listing just a few characteristics of of characters of kings, right? What do kings do? That's the next question, right? Now that you know who you are, you know who you bear witness with, then what are the characteristics of kings, right? What are the things, what does kingship really entails, right? The first thing that I'm going to let you know is kingship entails dominion, right? Kingship entails dominion. Write that down, jot that down somewhere, that kingship entails dominion. Kingship is about leadership. Kingship is about purpose. Think about people who have led in the past, right? Kings, what do kings really do? So that is how you identify what your purpose is. So if you are here on this live and you're trying to find out, what you do, right? How do you know what you do? The first is to understand the characteristics of who you are. Now that we have established that you are a king, and the reason you are a king is because you have a spirit. The reason you are a king is because you are a spirit being, first of all, just having a human experience, all right? And the spirit that lives inside of you is the spirit of your Father, is the spirit of the Creator, is the kingship spirit, right? And that's who you are. So the next thing is, what are the characteristics of a king? Someone should just tell me on the live session. Just drop a comment. Tell me what are the things that you think kings really do. There are a lot of them, but for this webinar, I'm gonna be sticking with just one. Kings do so many things. Kings dominate. Kings rule. Kings have authority. Kings have power. But the major thing I want to talk about in this session, right, is that kings dream. King's what? King's dream. And again, that's why we came about the name KingsDreamFar. So stay with me. Stay with me. The first part is to know who you are, understand that you're a king. The next part is to know what, right, are you called to do? What is your purpose? That is, what are you supposed to be doing as a king? Right? There are so many things you are supposed to be doing. There are so many things you are supposed to be doing. Right? But the first one that we're going to be starting with, that we're going to be focusing on, because of this webinar, because of where I'm going to stay to the end, to where I'm going to, right, is the king's dream. This is a very interesting topic. King's dream, right? Look at the scriptures, right? All over the scriptures, all over the scriptures, even currently in the world. I'm gonna start with this quote from Martin Luther King. By the way, my middle name is also Martin, so I like to use quote from him. The great American, who is of course dead now, but the very popular activist in America, Martin Luther King. He says, "I have a dream. I have a dream." That was him discussing like a king. That was him discussing what he had. Said, "I have a dream. I have a dream. I have a dream. I have a dream. I have a dream." King's dream. Look at all through the scriptures, right? From Joseph, who later become the king, who later became the king of Egypt, right? The first thing for the foundation of his journey to become to establishing his kingship was that he had a dream. He had a dream, right? Look at Abraham, had a dream, right? Look at David, had a dream. Kings everywhere, they dream, right? But the problem that I see that people don't know is that so I'm gonna ask you first, how do you dream? How do you dream? And listen to what I'm about to say very carefully. Like, you actually don't dream. Listen to me, you actually don't dream. So we've established who you are. You're a king. And then what do you do? One of the things that you're supposed to be doing as a king is that you're supposed to be dreaming. So the question is, how do I dream? Right? So again, you actually don't dream. You position for dreams to visit you. You position for dreams to visit you. You are not the creator of dreams. Are thoughts that visit you. Write that down. Write that down somewhere. Dreams are thoughts that visit you, right? And that can happen in your sleep. That can happen while you are walking. That can happen in a conversation, right? Again, your responsibility is to be aware. Your responsibility is to recognize your dream. That is your responsibility. That is what your job is supposed to do, right? So when you are being visited by the dream can come from creator, from our father, from God, or the dream can come from the enemy, right? So not all dreams that visit you are the right dreams. You need to become aware of this one that is coming. Where is it coming from, right? So when you are well positioned, right, dreams will visit you. So kings are positioned for dreams to visit them. Write that down. Kings, I as a king, I am positioned for dreams to visit me. And then what are dreams? Dreams are simply thoughts of the future. Dreams are thoughts from the future. Sometimes they are also feedback from the past. Dreams are thoughts that visit you from the future. Sometimes they are feedback from the past, right? So, and every great achievement starts with a dream. Look at Joseph as a case study, right? Every great achievement starts as a dream. All right. So your job when dreams visit you is that today's webinar is not going to be entirely in details. I'm not going to be focusing more on the details. I'm just going to be talking about the summary because of time. I told myself I don't want to spend more than 1 hour, 30 minutes max. Yeah. So, and I have a lot of things to cover. So stay with me to the end. All right. I see everybody joining. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you everybody joining. I see your comment. Let's keep going. All right. So what you do is that you position for your dreams to visit you, right? And these dreams that visit you, the thoughts that visit you, right? They are the foundation for your kingship. They are the foundation. They are the direction. That those are the things that set direction for your life. All right. And there are three things you are supposed to be doing when your dreams visit you. The first is that you recognize it, right? Write this down. Very important. The first thing is that you document it, right? When the first thing is that you recognize it. So when a dream visits you, it can be in form of a thought. So sometimes people ask me, I don't know how to dream, or God doesn't speak to me, or I don't know how to know if this is the voice of God, right? It's because you are not well positioned for it. Some of the things you can do to position for it is, by being in the right standing with the one who sends the dream, right? If you're in the right standing with the one who sends the dream, you are going to recognize your dream. So the first thing first is that you recognize your dream. The second thing you do when your dream visits you is that you document it. Guys, come on, document it. Document it. Very important. When your dreams visit you, you need to write it down. You need to jot them down, right? You need to document it. You need to document it because that's how you run with it, right? That's how you run with it. He said, write it plainly, right? So that you can run with it. The third thing is that when you receive your dream, right, you run with it. You run with it. So for this webinar, we have started with the first thing, understanding who we are, and we have established the fact that we are a spirit being. We have established the fact that we are aligned with the spirit of our Father, all right? And that's who we are. We are kings. And what do we do, right? Our father is a king, hence we are king. So what do we do? One of the things that we do is that we dream. And I've said it that dreams don't you don't really dream. You are really not the one dreaming, right? It's the dreams that is visiting you, and the dreams are simply thoughts from the future or feedback from the past. Thoughts from the future or feedback from the past, right? When the future comes to you, for example, several years ago, I dreamt of this. Believe me, I kid you not. Several years ago, I had dreamt of this, right? Several years ago, I had seen myself, right, explaining this to people, right? So now that is happening, I'm really not surprised, right? Some of the dreams that I've also had for the future that have visited me in the future is where I will be in the next 10 years of my life, right? The kind of career that I'm going to be doing. I have seen those things that's visited me, and I have written them down. And that is what we write down in terms of goals, all right? But I'm not going to be going in details with that. We're going to be moving on very quickly, all right? But the takeaway from dreams is that dreams visit you. Your job when they visit you is that you recognize them, right? And then you document them, and then you run with it. Okay, write that down somewhere, right? And the third one that I'm gonna be discussing is that now that you're a king, you know what to do. Then how? How? I want to focus more on that place today. How? How then do you position yourself for success, right? How then do you position yourself for success, right? How then do you position yourself for success now that you know who you have received your assignment, and what you are supposed to, your dream is literally your assignment. Joseph had an assignment. His primary assignment was not really the dream was the direction of his assignment. His primary assignment was to lead the people of Israel, right? To make them during the time of famine, to be the provider for them, right? That was his primary assignment. Now that you've decided, you've known that primary assignment, right? The next thing is how then um do you align yourself, position yourself for success? Again, you have to position for it. So there are three key things. I've shared this in my last webinar. In the last video I shared the last time, I've discussed it several times, right? There are three key things, right? And it is found in that word, right? And it is called far, right? That is where the title of this webinar came from. King's Dream Far, right? King's Dream Far, right? And the tricky ingredient that you need is found in that word far. That is FAR. Again, I'm going to keep saying this over and over and over and over and over again. I can't say it, I can't overemphasize it, right? King's Dream Far. The way to grow far, the way to dream far is in those three keywords, FAR. And the first word is faith. The second one is attitude. The third one is relationships. All right. Stay with me to the end. Don't go anywhere, because I'm going to be, revealing things that you actually need to do to maintain relationships, the secrets to actually keeping relationships. All right. But first, let's start with the first one, which is faith. Faith. What is faith? I've said it several times that faith simply means believing. Faith simply means believing. All right. And there are two different types of faith that you must have. I keep saying this. Two different kind of faith that you must have. Right. The first one is to believe in the Creator. The first one is to believe that you are a spirit being. The first one is to believe in the spirit that you have aligned with. Come on, guys, you have to believe in that spirit, right? You have to believe in the spirit of our Father, right? Is to know that there's a Creator, and that Creator loves you. That Creator has made everything provided for you. That Creator, you are in a covenant relationship with that spirit, right? The covenant is very powerful, right? You don't break the covenant, so He will not break its covenant if you don't break your covenant, right? So you have to know that you are in a covenant relationship with the Creator, with the ruler of the universe, all right? And so when you have to believe that, genuinely believe that, it's not so difficult, guys. You just have to believe it. All right. I'm not going to be going into this. In another webinar, I'll describe how I'll talk about the covenant, right? Understanding the covenant, understanding what can make it easy for you to believe. But for the purpose of this webinar, just believe, right? That you are a spirit being, and then there's a creator, right? Who is the God who has made everything, right? The second one, right, is believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Guys, you have to believe in yourself. No one will believe in you if you don't believe in yourself. All right. Don't be scared. The enemy of success, right, is fear. The enemy of success is fear. A lot of people don't do things because they are scared. I've been in that shoes before, right? I've been in the shoes before. I was scared of starting my first business. I started my first business 6 years ago, and I ended up, breaking millions of naira from that business, employing people and do what I truly wanted to do. The second enemy of success again is fear. For example, and this fear comes in every time. I was scared of going live on this webinar because I was like thinking, oh, do people really want to know my knowledge? Do people really want to know what I know? But you don't listen to your fear. Rather, you stand in faith, right? And that's how you grow. That's how you dream far, right? Because you go in faith. All right, and faith simply means believing. So you believe in yourself. I believe in myself because I know what I am doing, because I have tested these ingredients over and over and over and over again, and they've worked. They've worked in the area of my career, they've worked in the area of my finances, they've worked in several areas, right? And it's a lifelong journey. Don't get it twisted. It's a lifelong journey. You keep working on your faith every day and every day and every day. All right, because the size of your belief really determines the size of your success. Write that down. Write that down. The size of your belief, right, determine the size of your success. Big achievers, people who have achieved high, right, they think big, right? Believing is thinking big. You have to think big all the time. Don't ever think small of yourself, all right? You have to think big. You have to think big in the place of your career. One key secret that I use, let me just share this. This is not part of my discussion, but if you're a career person watching this webinar now or later in the future, one of the ways to rise quickly in the place of your work is to think like the CEO. All right, think like the CEO. When you're at the place of your work, think like the owner of the organization, think like the owner of the company. When I see people talking small, I can know that this person is talking small. Why? Because you are thinking as an employee. Though you are employed to work in that organization, but the fastest way to rise, the way to align yourself with the gatekeepers of that company, is to think like them. So when you think like the CEO, it's easy for you to relate with the CEO. So when the CEO comes and is having some conversation, you are thinking like him, and then you are able to align with him. And then when you make a statement, when you say something like, he asks you, who are you? Like, because he's surprised, because everybody talks like an employee, everybody is thinking of how to make money from the company, but you are thinking about how to give money back to the company. And that's one of the ways you can quickly rise on that job. All right, that's the different story, right? That's not where I'm going to today. All right, so where I'm going to today is simply the first one, which is faith. And faith simply means believing in the creator, believing in God, believing in his superpower. People that you know that have done great things, they believe in God. Donald Trump talks so much about God. Even Elon Musk, right, talks about God. And this is not some religion. This is not some religion. All right, this is not some religion. And this is not a religious webinar. People even look at people, right? For example, look at the UK Prime Minister some 2 years or 3 years ago when he became the Prime Minister. Right, the first thing he did was that he went to this office, and then I'm not really I don't know what is God is called, but I remember the clips that he went to the God and he worshipped a God, right? He worshipped a God, right? And then I think he put when you say, other people, they put things in their head when they are stepping into the office, right? Because they believe in something. They believe that there's a greater power that is working for us. So you have to really believe. And then the second one is that you have to believe in yourself. All right. Like I said again, the size of your belief determines the size of your success. I hope you are with me. If you are with me, please drop something in the comment section. If you have any questions, just drop it in the comment section. And please share this video with someone, share this webinar with someone, share the link with someone, let someone come on this webinar. All right. So the second part, like I said, is to dream for is faith, attitude, and relationship. The second part is the attitude. All right. When you have gotten your faith in check, the next thing that you need to do is your attitude, because your attitude forms your character, right? And your faith can get you in the room. Like I always tell people, your faith, your belief can get you in the room. For example, you believe like a CEO, you think like a CEO. So the CEO invites you into the room, and then it gives you some position. What is going to make you keep that position is your character. And this is where I've seen a lot of people who truly believe, but they have flaws or they are not making it, is because of this attitude, right? The character, the attitude, right? And there are so many attitudes that you need to develop, but for the sake of this webinar, I'm going to keep it to just two things, right? The first attitude you must have is positivity, right? Kings are always positive, guys. This is not some motivational stuff. This is not being delusional. This is not saying that you don't come to terms with the reality. But being positive is understand that despite your negativity, despite your reality, you believe that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, right? Despite how, no matter how dark your situation is, no matter how confused you may be, and a lot of times we are confused. A lot of times we are going through certain situations that are not so good. But positivity, being positive, is that understand that no matter what it is, there is light at the end of the tunnel. No matter what it is, you are gonna be fine. No matter what happens, you are gonna be okay. Right? What being positive means. Right? Being positive, being positive, being positive. Trust me. Ask anybody. Right? I love this man so much, Donald Trump. So I use him a lot as my example. When he lost his first election back in, I think, 2021 or 2022, I don't remember exactly. If it was someone who wasn't positive, it was someone that doesn't believe, that he can win the election again, right? Just guess where he's gonna be right now. Just guess where he's gonna be right now. But it's someone that truly believed. It's someone that was so positive that he believed that he could win the election again, and that's how, of course, it happened to him. As his faith could carry. All right. The second part of attitude that you must have is gratitude. All right, and this I can't. This is something that we must really learn to practice, because you see, guys, the world is full of pressure. All right, the world that we live in, right, is full of pain. All right, and it's crazy that you can easily get into this place where you are not satisfied. You can easily swim into the river of unsatisfaction. All right. And the only solution to always keep yourself in check is to ensure that you are constantly grateful. All right. Ensure that you are constantly grateful. That is one major secret. That is one major key that you can use, to position yourself for success. Because when you are grateful, what happens when you're grateful is that you are able to see opportunities even in the midst of chaos. Write that down. If you are grateful, you are able to see opportunities even in the midst of chaos. All right. If you are grateful, you are able to see opportunity even in the midst of chaos. For example, I lost my brother in 2019. It was a very dark period of my life. Um, Very, very dark period. I had nothing to be grateful for. Absolutely nothing to be grateful, because, of course, I kept asking God, why would someone so young, someone so vibrant, have to, live the face of the earth just like that? But after a while that I was done lamenting, right, I swam back into the river of gratitude, and it was that river that led me to my first business. Right, it was that river that made me see opportunity even in the face of that chaos. He was a business guy before he died, and then he left so many things behind. Right, it left so many instruments, so many tools that proved useful for me. And in the place of crying, lamenting, and trying to arrange his stuff, I just saw that he has this, he left this, he left this, he left this, and if I'm able to put these things together, I could actually start my own business. Right, and that was how I started my first business that later on earned me, a lot of revenue. All right, and then also it was in the face of that I started my foundation. That we started our foundation, right? That we were named after him to keep his legacy. And that foundation today is helping millions of people, all right? Globally, in Africa, a lot of people are being benefited, a lot of people are being impacted, all right? Why did I say that? Is that gratitude, again, helps us to see opportunities even in the face of chaos, all right? So it's important that we learn to be constantly grateful. When we wake up every day, we have to say, thank you, Father. Thank you for everyone listening to this webinar right now. Right, while I am open and looking forward to the day I'm going to be speaking to millions or having millions join and being impacted, I'm grateful, right, for the few people that are joining right now. I'm grateful for you that you are listening. I'm grateful that we are able to exchange this information. I'm sincerely grateful. Sincerely grateful. Sincerely grateful. I am happy. I'm thankful to everyone who has, helped me, get this far. All right, and that's what kings do. Right, going back to the scriptures, you can remember that Joseph, after all through he has been through, he went through the prison, he went through the prison, he went through all of the pains that you can imagine in life. Right, life really dealt him a blow. Right, he was lied upon, he was imprisoned wrongly, he was done so many things, and the exact people, right, that were the basis of of all of his troubles came around, and he had the power. He had two choices then, right? He had the power to either, you know, be harsh on them, or treat them badly like what we would normally do. But what did he do? He chose to be grateful, right? He told God and said, but then I know that you meant it for evil, but God has his plans for this, right? He chose to see the opportunity. He chose to see the understanding of why what happened and happened, right? Look at David, right? the reason why David was a man after God's heart was because he was someone who was full of gratitude. Every time he goes on the floor, he rolls on the floor, he praises his God, he's happy, he's thankful, right? He said, and said, at the end of the day, give thanks to God, right? Even Solomon, in all of his wisdom, right? What he said at the end of the day, after lamenting and complaining that, what is the essence of all this life in the book of Ecclesiastes, right? At the end of the day, he says, still, the only thing that we have to do is to be grateful, right? He said, it's good to give thanks to the Lord. Whoever gives thanks to the Lord receives multiplication. Whatever you are thankful for multiplies. All right. So I'm not going to say so much on that. There's so many things we can talk about that. But again, kings dream far. All right. As a king, how do we know we are a king? Because we are a spirit being having human experience. All right. We are not just a body. The body is 1/3 of what makes us up. Right. We are made. We are a spirit living in a body that has a soul. We are a spirit again living in a body that have a soul. My body is not who I am. Right. Thank God I have a great body. Right. But then that's not who I am. I don't identify by my body. I don't identify by my soul, but I identify with my spirit. And the spirit that we have is the spirit of the ruler, the spirit of the creator who created everything. All right. So that means you are a king, no matter what you are, no matter not your name, not the name that your parents have given unto you, not your gender, right? But the spirit of kingship, and one of the characteristics, right? And when you say king, king is really about an attitude. King is a character. Kings is a behavior, right? When you look at all kings, presidents, they have, a set of behavior, right? And they do so many things. They have authority, they provide solution, they provide, they do so many, they are providers, they are protectors, right? But one of the things that they do is that they dream, right? Kings dream. Joseph had a dream. Martin Luther King said, I have a dream. All right. Donald Trump said, I have a dream where America is the crypto hub, is the hub for cryptocurrency. So kings usually have a dream. That dream is the vision. All right. And how do you get that dream? All right. That dream doesn't really come. You are not the one actually dreaming. Dreams are actually visiting you. All right. Dreams visit you. Dreams visit you. And those dreams visit you sometimes during sleep, in your sleep, but generally they visit you with thoughts. All right. Dreams come to us in thoughts, right? Dreams are simply thoughts of the future, right? Dreams are simply thoughts from the future or feedback from the past. Dreams are simply thoughts from the future or feedback from the past. All right. And they visit us regularly. Dreams are regularly visiting us. Our job when dreams visit us as kings is that we recognize them. We recognize, for example, I have a dream that in the next 10 years, I'm not gonna say my dream out here, all right? But I received a dream some months ago. I received a dream for where I'm gonna be in the next 10 years, career wise. And dreams visit us in so many ways, so many parts of our life, spiritual wise, mentally, emotionally, in our relationships, it visits us so many ways. But career wise, I had a dream some months ago of where I'm gonna be in the next 10 years. All right. And what I did immediately that dream visited me, that thought visited me, was that I recognized it, then I documented it. All right. So when dreams visit you, what you should do is that you should recognize it and then you should document it. Guys, you need to document things down. Write it down. Write it boldly so that you can run with it. Write it boldly so that you can run with it. Write it boldly on a plain sheet, on a plain platform, right? It could be your paper, it could be your notepad. But when those and the reason why, let me quickly just stop here. The reason why people don't dream is because of fear. That is why fire is one of the ways you position yourself, right? Fire is one of the ways you position yourself for your dreams. Because the reason why people are scared of writing down their dreams is because of fear, right? For example, now a thought visited you and says in the next 10 years you are going to be the president of the United States of America, the president of Nigeria, the president of Canada, the president of somewhere. But because of your fear, you discard it like, oh, it's not possible, right? You just wasted a dream that visited you. All right. That's just an example. All right. Or maybe you have a plan for something, or maybe you want to buy a car before the end of the year, and that thought just visited. Maybe you were walking, or maybe, okay, let me tell you what happened to me in Lagos. There was a day that I was walking in Lagos and I saw a skyscraper. By the way, if you are not from Nigeria, Lagos is one of the cities in Nigeria. It's one of the state capital in Nigeria. I saw a skyscraper and I saw myself sitting in the top, in the highest floor of the skyscraper. All right. And when I saw that image, I just let it go like, oh, it's not possible. That is for people like Tony Elimelo. That is people like Elon Musk. But then now that I know better, if that such dream should visit me again, I'm never gonna discard it. I'm never gonna discard it. I'm gonna write it down exactly as I saw it, the kind of clothes that I was wearing, the kind of thing that I was saying, the people in that environment, and I'm gonna write it down, right? It could be 20 years time, it could be 10 years time, but it came, all right. It came, all right. So King's dream, Joseph had a dream. Moses had a dream. A lot of people, kings in the scriptures, even right now, Martin Luther King said, I have a dream that one day America is going to be great. And look at it today, America is great. All right. So sometimes your dreams are not even for yourself alone. This is for your future. So your job is to recognize it so that whether you or the generations coming, right, they are able to run with it. All right. Psalm 102 verse 18 says, let this be recorded for future generations so that a people not yet born will praise the Lord. All right. Psalms 102 verse 18 says, let this be recorded for future generations so that a people not yet born will praise the Lord. All right. Even the Lord wants us to record things. It's God that gave us the power to dream. And then he said, when you dream, document it. All right. So the third part, right? Kings dream. So who are you? You are a king. What do you do? Part of what you do is that you dream. All right. Then how do you position yourself for success so that your dream, can come to pass? Again, like I said, is in the word FAR. All right. FAR. On the first part is faith. The second part is attitude, and the third part is relationships. Again, faith, attitude, and relationship. We already discussed about faith. Faith is simply believing in the Creator who has given you that dreams, right? Really believing that your spirit is aligned with Him, and then believing in yourself. That is the most important part of this, right? You have to think big. You have to think big. Don't ever think small of yourself. The reason why people think small is because of fear, right? And the only antidote to that fear is faith, all right? The second one is attitude, practicing gratitude. Kings are thankful and do not complain. Complaining delays progress. Again, don't complain. Don't complain. Don't ever complain. One of the things that changed my life was when I stopped these three key things, right? I stopped condemning people. I stopped complaining, right? And I stopped murmuring. And I stopped criticizing. So don't complain. Don't criticize. Don't compare. Don't complain, don't criticize. Those three C's, you have to stop it, right? Don't complain about your situation. It doesn't change anything. All right. Do not worry. Worry not about what ye shall we, or what ye shall eat, right? For the problem of today is enough for today. All right. So the way to stop complaining or criticizing is by gratitude. And then the third one is relationships. Relationships is one of the key ingredients that really, really positions us for success, right? If you don't know how to build meaningful relationship, you need to go and learn that skill. Relationship building is a skill. Relationship building is not a gift from God, right? It's a skill, right? God gave, I mean, it's a gift, but God gave all of us that gift, right? What you need to do is how to develop that relationship, right? And one way to build relationship is by yourself becoming valuable, right? By yourself becoming valuable. The currency of relationship is value. Write that down. Write that down somewhere. Jot that down. The currency of any relationship is value. Be it marital relationship, be it professional relationship, be it even your sibling, even your dad, your mom relationship. A lot of people a lot of people don't like their dad because their dad is not valuable enough for them. Trust me on that. Right? A lot of people say, "Oh, my dad is so irresponsible," it's because he's not valuable enough. Or some dads or some parents, right? They disown their children because their children are not valuable enough. The currency of any relationship is value. Write that down, okay? And your network determines your net worth. All right. Invest time in quality relationships that elevate you. All right. So, three advantages of relationship is that relationships get you into space where money cannot get you into. And not everything lies on money, right? I have experienced tremendous help in this city, right? Because of relationship. Not everything I have done in this city has been because of money. In fact, if it was money, I would be nowhere, right? But because of the quality relationship that I've decided to surround myself with, all right. And one of the ways to actually build meaningful relationships, right? First is by you yourself becoming valuable, and again it lies on the mind. Anywhere you get to tell yourself that you are valuable, this develops so much skill that nobody can push you away, right? The second part of building that relationship is by giving. So first you develop that value, you have that value in you. The second one is that you give that value, right? That's the way you build relationships. You are so valuable that people notice you. You are so valuable that people can recognize you. then you give that value. Once you give that value, you unlock the curiosity of the people you want to build that relationship with, and they are amazed at what you're doing. They are amazed at who you are, and then they are curious about knowing who you are. They are curious about knowing what you do because you have given them a value. All right. The Bible says that the gift of a man maketh way for him. Right. The gift of a man maketh way for him. Right. So your gift, not necessarily money. When people read that, when people read that passage, they think it's money, they think it's maybe material things. It's really beyond material things. It's really about your innate value, the value that you have developed. You are a content writer, you are a photographer. It's so easy to meet people. It's so easy to meet people. I mean, you want to meet some very. I remember when I wanted to get close to my mentor now, right? And even my spiritual father, when I wanted to get a close relationship to him, I knew the way to go. I knew what to do. He had a show, he had an event in the city. I knew that he needed a content writer. I knew that he's going to definitely need a social media manager. I offered myself and I said, hey, I want to volunteer. I can do this for you. I can do that for you. It was the one calling me at some point. All right. Someone that I was trying to meet, someone that I was trying to, I was trying to really, really meet. And I'm not saying that with pride. I'm just saying that I had a value. I was a social media person. Then I gave that value for free. And then, of course, he saw the value in that. And he was one that saved my contact later and was one that started checking on me. All right. What am I trying to say is that there's nobody you cannot meet in this life if you go from the place of value. When people go into relationships, people are looking of what can I get? What can I get? What can I get? That's the very, very bad mentality, right? That is how small people think, right? Kings don't think like that. Kings think of how can I help you? What value can I add to you? What can I give to you? And then when you think like that, all right, it helps you. And there's a law of life that says that what you give, I mean, a givers never lack. So whatever you give is gonna come back to you. Whatever you give is gonna come back to you. So you don't have to worry about, oh, I'm always giving, I'm not getting anything. You have nothing to worry about. When you are well positioned for yourself, that you know your value, you give your value. Whether you like it or not, that value is gonna come back to you. All right. So relationships, your network determines your net worth. Nations need nations, such as people need people. All right. Nations need nations, people need people. Invest time in quality relationships that elevate you. This cannot be oversized. Look at the 5 people around you. I always audit my circle. I always audit my relationship. There was a time I was making so many silly mistakes, all right, in the area of in some part of my life, right? I was making so many not mistakes, but I wasn't just getting the result that I wanted. I was just, making errors upon errors. And I've checked. I started to audit it. Why am I making this error? Why am I making this mistake? And I started to realize that the kind of people I've been talking to in the past couple of months, they are not really people that are going to where I want to go. Right? These are low level thinkers. These are people I'm actually making, decisions based off their thoughts. Right? Then I discovered, aha, this is where the problem is. This is where I've been getting it wrong. And then what I did is I didn't discard them away. I love them, but I love them from afar. Right? I just stopped thinking with them. I just stopped, thinking like they do, because your thoughts, your things you listen to are the things that forms your thoughts. I think that forms your attitude. I think that forms your beliefs, and then those beliefs forms your character. All right. So surround yourself with people who align with your vision. Surround yourself with people who bring out the best in you. Surround yourself with people who see you as a king. People who can see the king in you. All right. A lot of children grow up today from where I grew up from, Nigeria. All right. There's this thing that there's so many reasons why children don't grow up being a king from that area, because even right from when they were young, you see their mom or their dad, right, not calling out the kings in them, but calling out the bad part of them, calling them Oloriburuku, for example. Oloriburuku in English means son with a bad head, and it's so popular from the area where I grew up. Thankfully, my parents never called me that, right? But I see a lot of people call their children names that are not worthy, like bad names, and then you are surprised when those kind of children grow up, and then it's actually doing like someone who said is not correct, because you've been calling them that right from the start. All right, so as you grew up, it's not your fault that you were born into such an environment. right? But now that you are listening to this webinar, now that you are aware of this, or even if you have been aware before, but now that you are being reminded of that, it's your fault if you continue like that. It is your fault if you don't take actions. All right. So make sure that you audit your circle, surround yourself with people who are aligned with your vision. And this thing is so subtle that you might not know. You might not know that you are already, speaking with people who don't believe. All right, because of the situation of the world, you must start aligning yourself with people who don't believe in you. All right. So I wrote it down here that it is not how good you are that matters, but who knows how good you are. For the people in the career success, for the people in the career path, right? At your place of work, it really matters who knows you. Guys, come on, it really matters who knows you, because it's not how good you are that matters. You can be the best, you can have all the values in life, but if people don't know you, if people don't know what you can do, right, you are as good as not being good. Write that down. If people don't know who you are as good as not being good. So anywhere you are, you have to speak out. You have to connect with the people in the organization. Everywhere I get to my work, I tell myself that I am aligned with the CEO. I'm aligned with people who are positioned, to help me bring my dream path come to pass in this area, right? So it is not how good you are that matters, but who knows how good you are. All right. So I'm so happy that I'm able to keep to time. It's already 50 minutes. Thank you so much for joining. I see everybody joining. Sorry, I'm switching between screens because I'm also connected live on Instagram, but my main focus is my people on YouTube. Thank you all so much for registering, for coming. Again, I'm just gonna recap, but don't go yet. There's something that I want us to do together at the end of this webinar, and this is the most important part of it, right? This is exactly the impact that I want to make. All right. So the title of this webinar again is King's Dream Far. All right. And it's in three segments. Kings, right? Or king is who you are. What you are supposed to be doing is dreaming, because kings dream. Proved everywhere. Martin Luther King said, I have a dream. All right. Joseph, who became the king of Egypt, said he had a dream. All right. Everybody has a dream. Your dream come in form of thoughts. Your dreams visit you. They visit you. They visit you. Your job when they visit you is that you are supposed to recognize them, document them, and then you run with it. It can come in different ways. It can come when you're sleeping. It can come when you're having a conversation. It can come from this webinar. For some of us, from this conversation today, you are probably thought about something, thought has visited you, all right, and you're like, this is true. What you should do is that you should write it down. I told you how I had a dream, something that I'm gonna be doing this, and now that I'm doing it, I'm not surprised at all. And I also told you that I received some thoughts, some dreams some few months ago, so unbelievable to me, right? It was unimaginable to me. I could not comprehend it, but I wrote it down. I wrote it down. I am running with it, and I am sure that when the time actually finally comes, I won't be surprised. All right. So kings dream. As a king, you are a spirit being just having human experience. You are not your body, you are not your name, you are a king. The spirit that you have is the spirit of a king, the spirit of a ruler. All right. And then you dream, and then how to position yourself is by you dream far. All right. And that positioning comes in the word FAR, which is faith, which is simply believing in the creator, believing in the one who has deposited that dream in you, and then believing in yourself. That is the most important part. If you don't take anything, please believe in yourself in whatever you want to do. All right. Please, please, please. People who achieve, the only thing that separates those who achieve things and those who don't achieve is the belief that they have in themselves. They just believe they can do it, right? They just believe. Cristiano Ronaldo said, in my mind, I believe I am the best, right? It doesn't matter if people don't believe it, right? I believe I know what I am teaching, right? If you don't believe it, then I know that you are not in my circle, right? So that after faith, the next thing is attitude, which is about being positive. So many attitudes that you must have, but I'm limiting it to two for this webinar is positivity and then gratitude, because gratitude unlocks opportunities, right? With gratitude, you're able to see opportunity even in the midst of chaos. All right. And then the last part is relationship. That one is very key. All right. It's very, very key. The people you surround yourself with is very, very important. If you surround yourself with bad people, evil people, everyone is good anyways, but you surround yourself with people who don't align with your vision, people who don't inspire you, people who don't bring out the kingship in you, it's going to be difficult for your dream to come to pass. All right. So as you continue, you have to make sure that you always audit your relationships, right? One of the people that I hold very close to in my circle is right here watching this webinar. Thank you for joining, Daniel. And yeah, so kings dream far, faith, attitude, relationships, very, very important. In my next webinar, I'm gonna be focusing more on the details of each of these each of these ingredients. All right, so watch out for my next webinar. I'm gonna be focusing in details. Today's webinar is not detailed at all. It's just a summary, right, of how to discover who you are, right, how to understand what you are supposed to do, and how to actually do those stuff. All right. So before you go, I want us to do something very quickly with ourselves. All right. For believers, the scripture says, "For whoever believes and confess with his mouth shall be saved." All right. Whoever believes and confess with his mouth shall be saved. All right. So I just want us to make some affirmations together. All right. Write them down and then speak them with you wherever you are. If you're able to talk, if you're able to speak, just speak it with me. All right. So the first affirmation says, "I am a king. I am a king. I am a king." Every day, every morning when I wake up, I tell myself, I am a king. I am created for greatness. I am created for greatness. My dreams are valid and I will pursue them boldly. My dreams are valid and I will pursue them boldly. I have the mind of a champion. I have the mind of a champion. Fear has no hold on me. Fear has no hold on me because I walk by faith. I walk by faith and I take action daily towards my purpose. I take action daily towards my purpose. I am surrounded by the right people for my destiny. I am surrounded by the right people for my destiny. I am surrounded by the right people for my destiny, and I will not settle for less. I would not settle for less because I am made for more. I am made for more. Kings don't settle for less, so I am made for more. I am prepared, I am positioned, and I am ready for opportunities. I am prepared, I am positioned, and I am ready for opportunities. I will rise, I will shine, and I will reign. I would rise, I will rise, I will shine, and I will reign. I will rise, I will shine, and I will reign. Kings think, kings build, kings rule. All right. If you have said this affirmation with me, I am happy that you were able to do that with me. Thank you so much. I wanted to stay within 1 hour, and I'm glad it's 55 minutes. So I'm just gonna be waiting a little bit on the line to take a few questions. If you have any question or if you have any comments, please drop your comments. If you have anything to say, now is the best time to say it. I'm gonna be saving this video on YouTube. I might not save it on Instagram. So if you're on Instagram, you want to head to my YouTube to go back and watch it. I will save it on my YouTube page. You can watch it, but on my Instagram, I'm not gonna save it. All right. Kings, thank you for joining. I really appreciate you. Remember that you are created for greatness. Remember that your dreams are valid. Remember that you have the mind of a champion. All right. You have the mind of our Father. You have the mind of God. All right. And fear has no hold on you. Fear has no hold on us because we walk by faith. All right. All right. And we are surrounded by the right people for our destiny. And we rise, we shine, and we reign. All right. So I've come to the end of this webinar. Thank you all so much for joining. Please watch out for my next webinar. I am going to be talking in details about each of these ingredients. All right. For example, how to actually build relationships. I know I mentioned a few part of it. I said it's value and it is in giving that value, right? But how do you actually build value? All right. How do you actually build value? I'm going to be discussing that in some other time. I don't know exactly when yet. And I'm going to be talking about other types of attitude you must develop. I'm going to be talking about faith in details. I'm going to be talking about dreaming in details. How do you position for your dreaming, right? And I'm going to be talking about who we are in more detail. So watch out for my next webinar and just subscribe to my YouTube channel if you have not done that. Please subscribe. Share this link with everyone. And thank you for joining. And I hope to see you next time. So if there's no question, thank you all so much for joining. That'll be all. Thank you. Have a good one. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Have a good one, guys. Bye.